Hi, and welcome back to Otaku Daikun. I admit this video is pure wish fulfillment, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's fair to say that the Nasuverse is in a slump, especially when it comes to anime adaptations. We've got the Mahou Tsukai no Yoru movie, but thanks to the success of Demon Slayer, who knows if that'll ever see the light of day. Then there's Fate Strange Fake, which is losing hype whenever the studio drip feeds an episode every few months. Clearly, these works need to finish before we expect anything new on the horizon. If that day ever comes though, well, me and my live chat have some ideas on what should be animated next. Indulge me as I list off iconic Type Moon moments that deserve to be animated. The first one I want to mention technically already has been animated, you just can't see it. The Rialta Nua last episode is an epilogue to the Fate Stay Night visual novel, where Shiro and Artoria finally reunite for an eternal afterlife in Avalon. For Saber fans, this is one of Fate's best scenes, and the main piece of the Fate route omitted from Dean's 2006 adaptation. Apparently, UFO Table has already animated the scene, or some portion of it anyway. Problem is, it was only ever showcased during a now defunct Type Moon museum. While I imagine a lucky few still cherish having seen the film, most of us are stuck with some blurry-ass screenshots taken from its debut. To this day, I have no fucking clue why it hasn't been released to the public. It's not like they're saving it for another museum run, right? Obviously, I want to watch what they created, and if it's not the entire epilogue sequence, I'd like them to go ahead and finish what they started. By extension, I'm still naively holding out on a potential Fate route remake. Anyone who thinks that route was the weakest, or isn't worth adapting, is full of shit. At this point, I wouldn't mind if UFO Table went ahead and crammed it all into a single film, like that Unlimited Bladeworks movie. Sure, it wouldn't make sense narratively, but at least we'd get to see our favorite moments on the big screen. I'm talking about Medusa on the roof, Archer's fight with Heracles, the three-way mana transfer, Shiro's date with Saber, and of course the final battle against Gilgamesh. It's too bad Dean's Stay Night was such a sloppy production. I'm fond of the studio's key art, but those shots are few and far between. If the entire show looked like their UBW movie, I'd feel confident saying the route was already done justice. As it stands though, Saber fans have been done dirty. One amazing suggestion a viewer brought up was an anime adaptation of Garden of Avalon. That light novel was basically a set of anecdotes from Artoria's past. While I'd adore seeing her entire backstory, Garden of Avalon highlights some great moments that should be prioritized. There's the fight with Vortigern, Artoria's early training, Lancelot's anguish, and Sir Kay's pessimism. Between various animated works, we can kinda sorta piece together this past, but there are still glaring holes to fill. Another viewer noted the time when Artoria adopted a lion cub. I don't think that's in Garden of Avalon, but it would definitely be a welcomed inclusion. In fact, any opportunity to see a servant's past is welcome. Those moments where masters dream their servants' memories tend to be some of the very best scenes. Imagine if, rather than just a standalone promo vid, the 2023 Memorial movie were just an intro for a full series where Mashu read up on various servant legends. I'd rather see that than a new Holy Grail War, Singularity, or Lost Belt. That said, if we were to get more FGO adaptations, I think the highest priority certainly goes to Lost Belt 6. It's everyone's favorite chapter, and I agree it would be so much better to actually see it in cinematic form. A lot of people seem to dislike Morgan's death, but I feel like it would be really tragic, like Game of Thrones tier drama. It'd also be amazing to see Mashu's journey, including her getting a new dress and launching Bogart across his entire castle. I've got a sick curiosity about how Bavanshi looked after being corrupted by Beryl's witchcraft. Cloverworks did a fantastic job with the Babylonia arc, so I'd entrust them with Avalon Le Fay. The sad reality is that Cloverworks bites off more than it can chew. They don't skip out on quality, but they have failed to deliver with regard to shows like The Promised Neverland Season 2 and Wonder Egg Priority. I think they should have prioritized giving those enough time to breathe. One viewer suggested a more complete adaptation of Hollow Ataraxia's final battle. UFO Table already animated parts of that fight in their opening cutscene, but that mostly represents the fight rather than fully depicting it. Also, due to the nature of visual novels, it's no surprise that the studio mainly wanted to adapt true endings. This meant that the Heaven's Feel movies left out a fan-favorite bad end, Sparks Liner High. The novel describes Shiro fighting to the bitter end against his former ally Artoria. Rather than leave the fight to Medusa, he takes Saber Alter on himself, and Shiro fans are obsessed. I do agree it would be fun to see. After all, UFO Table did include a special bonus episode telling the Unlimited Blade Works good ending. Of course, there's a huge difference between that and a full-on battle sequence. So far, we've been talking about Fate exclusively, but that doesn't mean the rest of Type Moon should be ignored. One of the more iconic anecdotes from Tsukihime is the battle between Zelrech and Brunstud of the Crimson Moon. Zelrech has been shown in a handful of miscellaneous scenes over the years, but we've never been given so much as an illustration of the Crimson Moon. This fight would be worth animating, simply to force Nasu in the studio to actually give Brunstud a tangible design. UFO Table made their fame by adapting the Kara no Kyokai novels into films. Between all those movies, they nearly covered the entire story, except for one chapter, that is. Final Record, also called The Garden of Oblivion, shows no sign of being animated anytime soon. It's a story about Azaka and her classmates getting stuck inside Toko Aozaki's sentient film projector. They're forced to endure a series of looping 90-minute films. I admit, none of it's critical to the overall narrative, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be fun to see. I don't like seeing things left incomplete. In the same way, it's annoying how the El Malloy Case Files anime was handled. It makes a lot of bizarre changes to inflate the Rail Zeppelin arc, which isn't even the best part of the story. I'd much rather have seen Grey's hometown, and the ritual to turn her into King Arthur's second coming. The series' final volume has Waver and company adventuring deep through the spiritual tomb of Albion, which would be great to see given a definitive visual design. I bet fans would also appreciate a series covering the adventures of Lord El Malloy. It gives us a chance to see what Reen is up to when not studying at the clock tower. While I personally don't see the need for it, another viewer suggested Fate Type Redline. It's refreshing to see Okita and Nobunaga presented in a serious manner, without all the goofy Gouda bullshit. I'm sure it would make for a fun anime, but I think the manga gives us plenty to look at already. If the manga's good, it doesn't really need an anime, as sometimes it just winds up looking a lot worse. Take Goblin Slayer, for example. A while back, I made a video comparing how bland the anime looks compared to its manga. That's not to say Redline couldn't be done justice, though. On that same note, we've got Fate Extra CCC Foxtail. From my perspective, I'd rather see the manga actually finish first, but sometimes an anime adaptation helps light a fire under slow-moving artists. The story's nearly a decade old now, and while I really do want to know more about Suzuka Gozen and the Sakura 5, that's a long time to hold out. Maybe an anime would speed things along. However, if animating it meant coming up with an original ending, I'd back off. I hate when anime do that. Now, the last adaptation on my list is never going to happen. Absolutely not. But that doesn't mean a guy can't dream. The H-scenes. That's right, the very hentai scenes that get mocked for Nasu's corny writing still deserve to get animated. UFO Table did a great job with raunchier parts of Heaven's Feel, and even though they'd never stoop so low, I guarantee it'd be great if they straight up made adult content. I personally am obsessed with Hollow Ataraxia's golden bathtub scene. Somehow, though, I suspect Ayako Kawasumi wouldn't be up for voicing it. She has played eroge characters in the past, but only when they have had the explicit scenes removed from console ports. I wonder if anyone's asked her about it, though. Again, I can dream, okay? So yeah, I don't really have high hopes any of these ideas will come to fruition. We'll be lucky enough if the animation industry can finish the projects already announced. I want to see the completion of Fate Extra Record before any new anime shows. Now, I know some of my viewers helped come up with this list, but it's possible you have your own ideas. Go ahead and drop those below, and until next time, celebrate your fandom. Thanks for watching. This channel relies on support from viewers like you.
Please help us out by dropping a like and comment. Subscribe for more videos, and be sure to enable notifications. Or hit up our Discord so you never miss out on a new upload.
Most importantly, if you can spare it, please sign up as a channel member, either through YouTube, Patreon, or Subscribestar. You can find links in the description. We've got perks like exclusive content or early access.
Until next time,
Celebrate your fandom. I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters: Video Gamer 75, Dante Pendragon, Stephen Elak, Otaku Mom, Mystic Samurai 1983, Free Brick, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Lunar Works, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Crow Calum, Sal Soto, Tristan Riggin, Winter's Edge, Sneer Cachette, Sunbro Torian, Dionysus, Caitlin P, Sogai CH, Sith Lord 906, Vladimir Ovna, The Taz 96, Kengo X77, Alistair Bernadotte, and Reason 99. Thank you all so much.